Hello. Hello and good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, or whatever it is that you're tuning in to today here at Naked Tax Talk. I'm Jonathan Bengal here, host, and I just want to let you guys know that for some reason, I'm losing my words, but here's my introduction. Naked Tax Talk, where we bear down to the naked truth about our personal, business, and monetary lives, because what I know to be true is that when we improve upon the self, our businesses, which is a reflection of who we are, improves, and the money, honeys, also improves because money is a reflection of who we are as well as who our businesses are as well. And when you work with someone like me, an IRS enrolled agent, a certified tax coach, and a certified tax planner, the taxes go down. So, I've been kind of like thinking all week long what today's subject was going to be about. And what I kind of like realized is that the topic or the theme that just kind of kept coming up was what we put out into the universe is what we get back in our lives. This is true in our personal lives, this is true in our business lives, and it's true in our monetary lives. I'll share a story with you. Back in January of 2020, I was fortunate enough to go on to what's called the Marketers Network Cruise. It's an annual event where a whole bunch of marketers come together, about 400 plus people. And in this process, we were all commingling and networking and having a gay old time. And one day at lunch, I sat down at the table and I felt as if I could not breathe. I was kind of like felt like I was suffocating. And it was a really good friend of mine now, Ellen Martin, who actually sat down across from me as I had my eyes closed and reminded me to breathe. After that whole scenario, I was able to also meet another wonderful woman named Julie Cotton, who also at the time had simply said to me, Jonathan, we have to remember that we are a reflection of ourselves looking outward. And it just so happened that I had started working on my own self by allowing myself to talk to my soul out loud, which in essence was responsible for giving me a lot of the advice that I tend to follow even today. And something that I realized is that each time that I smile, people smile back. If I frowned, if I looked upset, people seem to reflect that back as well. I started realizing that every time we're showing up, we are showing up to either meet people or to greet people or to inspire people or to motivate people. And sometimes I don't even know that. And yet what we're putting out there is in fact coming back to us. I was thinking the other day about how, when we feel like people are just taking, and taking and not really giving, I have to do a little bit of self-reflection and look back on that and then ask myself, am I just taking? Am I not giving? And when I was able to actually really think about this, that's when I realized as well that if we want to be open to receiving, if we want the world to go the way we want it to, we have to show up the way that we need to show up in order to have it come back to us. For example, have you ever thought about you being like in a bad, foul mood? And it seems like every time you're engaging with people or activities or doing things, that it just doesn't seem to go right. Now, some of this appears to be out of our control, but there's some of it that is inside of our control. What we can think about is this principle that I learned by being a Buddhist, that Buddha taught me, and that is that every single one of us is experiencing life through our own lens. And part of this experience also means that we're experiencing karma, which is basically the law of all of our actions and the reactions that are caused by our speech and caused by our actions moving forward, done unto ourselves and also done unto others. And so this karma builds up. And the best way I like to explain it, it's kind of like a bank account. And so when you do really good things for other people, exactly, when you love someone, when you give, when you are kind, when you are receiving, when you are gracious, all of these positive attributes, when we're sharing that and giving that out, we're building positive karma. And it's adding to our little bank of karma. When we do things out of a delusional mind, for example, when we are cruel or angry or jealous or upset or any of these other negative things that we commit, some of it is conscious, right? Like, I want to make you feel bad because you made me feel bad and I want to sting you, right? That is a really direct negative intention. And so because we're upset, we turn around and we poke someone else, which then transfers that negativity to them. But what we don't understand is that even though we may take pleasure, but for maybe a few seconds, and ha ha ha, I got you back, what we're actually doing is creating negative karma. This negative karma then is like, again, like the bank account, except that it's going to subtract from our positive karma that we're generating. And as Buddha explained to me, that when the right conditions are just perfect, the seed of the karma will ripen. So when the conditions are just perfect for good, nice, juicy, yum, 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 positive karma, it will rise up to our mind, and then we will experience through our lens the world around us. And when it's positive, everything feels great, everything feels yummy, everything feels like it's supposed to be. But when it's negative karma that is ripening in that moment, we're feeling the discomfort, we're feeling the anger, we're feeling the ughness. That's a real word, I guess, ughness. We start to feel that. And so what one can do, what you can do, what I've done, is to recognize our actions that we are taking and putting out there into the world. You know, I'll bring this back to business, for example. A lot of taxpayers that I know of, they try to shortcut the system. They try to be like, no, I'm just going to deduct everything. Or better yet, I don't have my documents to support my documentation. So they're just kind of like putting out everything and then summarizing it on a tax return and then sending it in to Uncle Sam, who just so happens to once in a blue moon may open up that tax return and do something called an audit, and actually is just reviewing what you said happened. You see, out of our desire for more money, more savings, more of this, more of that, in the business, if we are untruthful in our reporting of our business life, and Uncle Sam gets wind of this through the audit because we don't have the right documentation, he comes back and he says, nope, I'm not going to allow you to deduct these deductions. And in fact, I'm going to assess a tax to you, and now you owe me more money. You see, if we in fact tell the truth, and the truth, by the way, when it comes to taxes, it's not necessarily always black and white. It's gray. It's gray in the sense of, well, what were the facts and the circumstances that allowed us to then tap into the law, which then allowed us to then create the deduction? But you see, in telling the truth, we'll be protected because Uncle Sam will come back and say, aha, I saw that you claimed your mileage deduction. And because you were being truthful and in your own integrity, you're able to turn around and say, actually, yes, I did. And here's the documentation. Here's the mileage log to prove to you that, in fact, I am entitled to this deduction. Or what about this other number one misconception? And that is that although I am the owner of my business, and if I'm a C corporation or I'm an S corporation, and I do not pay myself a wage for being an active participant in my business, and I do not pay a wage, the United States tax courts have said that when you do this and you do not pay yourself a reasonable compensation, that the IRS can then turn around and reclassify your distributions as wages. And now you're in trouble. Now you're going to owe taxes on the personal side for the income tax, and you're going to owe taxes for the employer and the employee portion of FICA tax plus penalties and interest. You see, if we try to set the intention to lie and to deceive, whether it's another person or whether it's another entity like the government, what we will get back is the potential to be penalized, which is through the assessment of tax. Think about that from a money standpoint. If I am so greedy as to not want to pay taxes, and then I stretch the truth, I lie, and then submit the return, in the moment, I have a lot of money. In the moment, the money I have is mine to have, and I get to spend it however I want. But because the intention was not pure, it gets sent off. And then again, when the tax is assessed, guess what happens? Now, if you have the money in your savings account, if you're lucky, you got to drain it and give it to the government. Worst case, you don't have the money saved up. It's not in a checking account. Now you're trying to borrow it. Now you're going to friends and family, begging them for the money because the IRS is turning around and seizing your checking account, your savings account, your retirement accounts. It's seizing your home potentially, or placing a lien on it, placing a lien on your cars, your boats, your yachts, your property. It's going to do everything it can to get back its money. However, if we set the intention with goodness, and we disclose everything like we should without fear, then oftentimes we will be in the right. Because what I know to be true is that when we speak our truth, whether it's on a tax return, whether it's here on the show, whether it's from stage, wherever, if we speak our truth, we are always protected. So what can we do to help to be mindful of the actions that we're taking that are going to create discomfort for someone else or ourselves? Or what actions am I taking for the happiness or for the betterment of other people? Well, it turns out that it takes us to tap into the mindset of mindfulness, the mindset of awareness, to constantly have that on. But it also takes concentration and it takes effort. So what can we do? Well, what we can do is when we feel like our lives are feeling heavy, feeling burdensome, we can take a moment to reflect back on the actions that we took and the words that we said that led up to this moment. For example, if we're feeling like people are taking advantage of us, stealing our money, always trying to upsell us, always trying to take more, then we must self-reflect and ask ourselves, am I doing the same thing? Am I holding back? And so what is the opponent force? What is the opposite force that will move it from that state of closed offness, I guess, to one of openness? Well, we look back to the actions and the statements that we've made. Oops. We can go back and apologize if that happens to be the case, or we can be mindful to do the right things moving forward, to change the narrative moving forward. If we're feeling in the state that people are robbing and taking and not giving, then what we must do is tap into our givingness. That's the opponent force of taking, which is to give. Now, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? So wait. So that if we give, we get back? We receive by giving? And it's true. Because what's happening is that we are opening ourselves up by giving, right? We're not going to hold on and hoard. We're going to turn around and we're going to give this away to someone else to have. And in exchange, the energy that is created from this will be passed on outside of you. so that your light is shining bright and the world knows that you are here to set the right intention, that you are here to relieve the suffering of others. And as a result, the souls that are out there, be it personal or business, are seeing you open up, seeing your willingness to share, your willingness to give. And in exchange, they will be drawn to you and be willing to work with you and allow you to then provide for them your services. Why? Because every single one of us was brought into this world, especially as an entrepreneur, to relieve the suffering of others. And it just so happens that Uncle Sam also understands this too. He knows that as you as an entrepreneur, your job is to make people happy. And as a result, the money that you make from helping others to feel better, by relieving them of their suffering, their anxiety, their fears, their anxiousness, all of those negative things, when we help people to move beyond that, Uncle Sam recognizes this. And so he asks you what you spent your money on to continue to spread your message. Was it ordinary? And was it necessary for your business to do that in order to make the money? And of course, with confidence, we can say yes. We can stand in our truth and say yes. We can show the documentation and the proof. And in exchange, Uncle Sam allows us to continue to move forward to spread our word. So with that, that's my little message for today. When we feel that our world is turning against us, when we feel that no one loves us, when we feel that everyone is taking from us, when we feel that everything just feels so heavy, we must turn around and look at ourselves and ask, is this what I'm doing? And then we must make a conscious effort to change the narrative and to do the right thing. If you enjoyed today's message, I encourage you to please subscribe and hit the alert button or share this with your friends. If you would like to be a guest here on Naked Tax Talk and ask me 2 questions and I'll answer them for you, please feel free to hit me up at letsgetnaked@nakedtaxtalk.com. So once again, if you'd like to be a guest or you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Let's Get Naked at nakedtaxtalk.com. With that, I'm Jonathan Bengal, and next week we'll have a tune in to find out what else we can deliver. Also, if you would like to follow me around as I give different talks at different times in different places, you can sign up and subscribe at jonathanbengal.com. That's JONATHAN, Bengal, B as in boy, ENGEL.com. You can go to jonathanbengal.com and subscribe. And there I share with you once a week my thoughts on different things happening. And I also share with you the different stages that I'm showing and appearing on. So you can follow me and you can listen to get your dose of whatever it is that you may need from me. Always remember, when we feel that the world is sitting on us, we must ask ourselves, is it because I'm sitting on myself? And then we must move forward and out of that so that we can create openness to receiving, so that we can continue to go down our purpose, your purpose, which again is to bring happiness to the world. And also, let's not forget why we're entrepreneurs. It's to make a whole lot of money, right? And so with that, I'm Jonathan Bengal. Thank you for tuning in. Until then, toodles noodles, and let's never forget why we're entrepreneurs. It's for mucho, mucho, mucho dinero. Until then, bye.